People just scratch the surface with the capabilities of it. And if you do it right in conjunction with other tools, ChatGPT can totally transform the way that you do business.
Welcome to the Kingspiration Podcast. This is the place where you'll learn how to get unstuck and gain momentum in your life and business. Each week, we tackle the real aspects of entrepreneurship, personal development, relationships, and fitness. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures, sharing wisdom and experiences to propel you forward. Welcome to Kingspiration. Let's start the conversation.
ChatGPT to double your business in 90 days is more like a workbook, a textbook almost. It's not the same as, Wealth Beyond Money is kind of like my manifesto or memoir to the world, plus, combined with a business and personal development book. This book, ChatGPT to double your business in 90 days, is actually longer than Wealth Beyond Money, even though I'm writing it more quickly just due to the subject matter.
And who are you writing it for, Ethan?
This is for anyone who, I meet so many people, especially in EO in these circles, who are just lost in EO. Like they've heard of ChatGPT and they use it like kind of like a toy or like a search engine, which of course you can. It's the best. Right. Well, right now it's kind of, in fact, they just came out with their own search engine, or it's coming out. I joined the wait list. Have you heard of that? This is called Search GPT. Yeah, OpenAI just came out with, or they're coming out with one. People just scratch the surface with the capabilities of it. And if you do it right in conjunction with other tools, ChatGPT can totally transform the way that you do business. And so that's what I'm writing it for. It's for the business owner who wants to grow, and they know that there's something there. There's something holding them back, but they don't know what they don't know. And we're at a time right now in our economy. I don't know if you guys are feeling it in South Africa, but it feels like we're just in a chokehold here because you have the combination of increased wages. The minimum wage has just, doubled, tripled over the past few years. And then we have inflation. Everything costs 2, 3, 4 times more. Groceries. We're struggling out here. And then you have consumer spending is down. So businesses are getting fewer sales and forced to have more discounts and things like that just to stay afloat. Every other day, I'm hearing about some company going out of business. So you have businesses bringing lower prices and making lower revenue, plus consumer spending is lower and wages are higher. And it's just like this, almost like this trifecta that is really kind of slowly putting the pinch on us. So we need to do more with less. We have to get more done with less people. It's not a luxury. And fortunately, we have AI at our fingertips, and we're at a great time in history. But you got to use the tools. You got to know how to use the tools.
So I'm really interested to know if you're willing to lift the hood slightly on the book, the topics that are covered. Where do you suggest that businesses start? Because ChatGPT, I think a lot of people who haven't started digging into AI just think, well, ChatGPT can help me write a few nice letters. ChatGPT can help me with my newsletter. ChatGPT can help me respond to an email without sounding like a dick. And that's kind of a lot of people's thought process. But you speaking about using ChatGPT to double your business in 90 days, which is that's a grabber. It certainly grabs one's attention. And I'm interested to know that the flow, the journey that you've come up with and created that you feel is really going to make a significant difference in people's businesses.
Yeah. Well, I'll dive. So there are literally 90 steps in this book that I walk people through, specific use cases of ChatGPT that, and the idea is just spend one day on this particular use case and dive into it, try it out, test out different prompts, have conversations with ChatGPT, understand this one thing before you move to the next thing. And they're actually in order of the way that I suggest doing them, so that you can get the most efficient use of it. For example, we start out with my hacks to get more media coverage, get articles out into the world, having ChatGPT help you write them. Because let me back up, because the very first thing in all caps in this book that you should do, if you're not already doing it, is you have to train ChatGPT to speak in your voice. And so I know some people have heard that. Like, some people just use it out the box, which you can tell right away when it's just AI talking and not a human. There's so many things wrong with that. That'll do you more harm than good. But then when training it to speak like you, when I give the exact prompts to use and the more information you give it, I mean, I have mine so fine tuned that you can't even tell the difference between my speaking or my writing and what's generated from ChatGPT when it is writing in my voice. I've even asked it to rewrite something and say, hey, put this in my voice, and it'll just spit back out almost the same thing verbatim. Yeah. So that's the first thing, is using it to speak in your voice. And then I walk you through the process of how to generate a ton of social media content in just 15 minutes so that you have posts ready to go, images, videos, and written format. If you go through this process, you can get it all done in about 15 minutes. So that's the first part of the book. But it's really broken down into 3 key areas. And this is based on what I learned, Tony Robbins' Business Mastery. It talks about the 3 levers of business growth. And that is, I mean, there's really only 3 ways to grow your business. That's get more clients, increase average order value, and increase the repeat purchase frequency. And if you focus on those 3 things and just improve them by 26% in each area, you will have doubled your business. So I break that down in the book, and then break down how you can improve each one of those numbers using AI to help you.
Amazing. And do you think it would be more geared towards businesses who are direct to consumer, or do you think this could any business would benefit from what you're covering?
Yeah, any business can benefit from it. At the end of the day, we're all people to people businesses. Because even if you're B2B, if you're wholesale, you got to work with somebody. There's a decision maker on the other end, who's a human, at least for right now. So that's, you can always tweak the prompts to fit your business model, and it can help in every domain. But I mean, I think there are more business to consumer people who will pick up this book, because there are so many just small business owners. There's so many solopreneurs and small business owners compared to people who are working at the enterprise level, who already have like a team dedicated to this kind of stuff, and they're going to be slow moving. But I mean, it's designed for the person who has very little budget and has to get a lot done, which is, your typical small business owner. We need a huge marketing team, but I have zero extra dollars to put towards it. So this gives you the solution.
One of the last questions, because what always happens is people love the idea of a book like this, but they're expecting the book to do all the heavy lifting for them. So how much time would you say, if somebody reads this book realistically, how much time do they actually need to dedicate to the practice of using ChatGPT to double their business, if they want to be serious about it? Because buying the book doesn't get you there. So what would be the requirement on their part?
I mean, you get out what you put into it, but this is designed. It's not a book that you just read through. It's not a novel you read through on vacation, right? It is designed to, after you get through the first part, like take day 1, read and stop, and actually do what is talked about in day 1. Open up your computer, start typing, put the prompts in, see what you get back, tweak it, have a conversation, actually execute the things that are done. And then on day 2, pick it up and move forward. So that's how it's designed. It is not designed to just read through it. It is designed for people to take action, because you are 100% right. Nothing happens if you don't take action. It's not a book where you read through it and then say, oh, that was nice, and then you go back to what you were doing.
Awesome. Last thing, let's give it a bit of a plug. I know you've got a real hard deadline. So once the book is ready to rock and roll, people can get their hands on it. Where will they be able to get a copy? Where will I be able to get a copy?
You could actually pre-order it right now on my website, ethanking.com. I've actually already sold hundreds of copies of it before it's done. So which is great. It's a good problem to have, but I definitely have a real hard deadline. And because I have some speaking engagements where they're expecting the book to be there. So we are going to the press this week, and it'll be on Amazon. You'll be able to find it pretty soon, within the next month or so, depending on when you're listening to this. But by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably already be on Amazon. You can just search ChatGPT to double your business in 90 days by Ethan King.
Amazing. Look forward to reading it and getting my hands on the copy sometime soon.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Kingspiration. We hope this conversation sparked insights to ignite action in your life and business.
We're on this journey together, sharing our challenges and successes to help all of us take the next step towards building momentum and ultimately reaching our goals.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone else who might benefit and leave us a 5-star review.
And remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly conversations. Until next time, keep rolling, keep growing, and keep being inspired.